Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Tungal online classes. We are in the discussion of thermodynamics. Under that, I think in the last class we have discussed the first law of thermodynamics. We have seen various topics such as what is meant by internal energy, zeroth law of thermodynamics, as well as we have seen the various statements of first law of thermodynamics, as well as we have derived the expression for the first law of thermodynamics, and we have seen the expression of first law of thermodynamics various processes such as isothermal process, isocodic process, as well as adiabatic processes. Okay, we'll continue with the discussion. In today's class, we are going to discuss about some of the important concepts such as enthalpy as well as heat capacity. So, we will start our session with an important concept called enthalpy. Okay, we frequently come across with the term called enthalpy whenever you are talking about the chemical reaction, enthalpy change of the reaction, enthalpy of formation of products, enthalpy of formation of reactants. Okay, like this, whenever you are dealing with the chemical equation or chemical change, okay, always we come across with this term called, enthalpy comes across through the discussion of thermodynamics. Now let us try to understand what is meant by enthalpy. Okay, in the last class we have discussed internal energy. Internal energy is the some of the all types of energies that are associated with the system is called as internal energy. Okay, all the type of energies that are associated with the system are called as internal energy. Whereas this enthalpy is different, as it is the total heat content. It is the heat content of this system. It is the heat content of the system at a constant pressure. Where it is at constant pressure. The total heat content of the system at constant pressure is called as enthalpy. Okay. Now, it is denoted with capital H. Correct. It is calculated as the sum of internal energy and product of pressure value. Okay, the mathematical equation of enthalpy is that H will be equal to E plus PV, where here you can use this E stands for internal energy, or in place of U, you can also use H will be equal to U plus PV. Whether you are using E or U, it doesn't make any difference. As I said in the last class itself, internal energy can be denoted with the E or U. Right? Now, if you see the characteristics of this enthalpy, okay, it is a state function. What is meant by state function? That means it depends only upon initial and final state of the system. It does not depend how the change is being made. It is independent of the path in which the change is being made, how the system is going from one state to the other state. Now it is an extensive property. What is meant by this extensive property? That means what? It depends upon the mass. It depends upon the mass. Right? Now, it is not possible. It is not similar to that of internal energy. It is not possible to calculate absolute value of the enthalpy. It is not possible to calculate absolute value of enthalpy. Okay. In the last class also, we have, while discussing the internal energy, I told that it is not possible to determine the exact amount of the internal energy because it is associated with so many forms of energies whose measurement is very difficult. and the advantage that neither we are required nor it is possible. Okay, the exact value of internal energy or exact value of enthalpy is not required when you are dealing with the thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is only concerned with the change in the enthalpy or change in the internal energy. So what happens here, we talk about the change in the internal energy. The change in enthalpy can be calculated by using following expression, that is delta H is equal to delta U plus P dV. This is the expression for the calculation of what is meant by delta H. Delta H is defined as, okay, change in internal energy, change in enthalpy at constant pressure, where it is at constant, whereas delta U will be change in internal energy. What is this? Change in internal energy at constant value. The change in the internal energy of the system at, okay, this is the change in the internal energy, enthalpy or energy, whatever you say, it doesn't matter much difference. Okay, this is the change in, we can say it as internal energy also. Okay, change in internal energy, we can say change in internal energy at constant constant pressure, change in internal energy at constant value. Okay, delta H is a change in the internal energy at constant pressure, whereas delta U is the change in the internal energy at the constant value. Okay, what is P? P is a pressure which is constant, and what is dV? It is change. du will be over what is change in value, it is. Alright, now change in enthalpy of a system can be calculated by using a relation delta H will be equal to H final minus H initial. If you are talking about the change in the initial change in the enthalpy of a system when it moves from initial state to the final state, can be given as delta H will be equal to H final minus H ids. If you are talking about the change in enthalpy of a chemical reaction, can be given as delta H reaction can be equal to, what is this? It will be equal to Hp minus, what is mean by this? Enthalpy of the products minus enthalpy of the reactants. Right? Basically, it is given in this form: delta RH will be equal to summation of, okay, enthalpy of products minus summation of enthalpy of reactants. Okay, this is the expression for the enthalpy change of a chemical reaction. Right? Here from this expression, if enthalpy of the product, if the enthalpy of the product is less than enthalpy of the reactants, then what happens? Then delta H will be less than 0. That is what it is. It will be negative. Okay, this type of reactions are called as, what they are called? Exothermic reactions. What we call them as? Exothermic reactions. What is mean by exothermic reactions? The reaction which liberates heat are called as exothermic reactions. Right? Now, there are several types of reactions. What is mean by exothermic reaction? The reaction which evolves heat as a result of chemical change are called as exothermic reactions. In case of exothermic reactions, what happens? The energy of the reactants will be greater than the energy of the products, so that delta H will be less than 0, and such type of reactions are called as exothermic reactions. Right? Now, if enthalpy of the product is greater than enthalpy of the reactant, okay, then what happens? Then delta H will be greater than 0, that is, it will be positive. this type of reactions are called as endothermic reactions. What they are called as? Endothermic reactions we call them as. Okay. What is mean by endothermic reactions? The chemical reaction in which heat is being absorbed, okay, for the chemical change to be takes place is called as endothermic reactions. Okay. In case of endothermic reactions, what is the condition? Enthalpy of the product should be greater than the enthalpy of the reactant. Okay. This is about the enthalpies of reactants and products of a chemical reaction. Now, if you are talking about the difference between, okay, or otherwise if you want to give the relation between okay, let us discuss in this one. The difference between, what is mean by difference between? The difference between delta H. What is delta H? Internal energy change at constant pressure, and delta U, internal energy change at constant value, is insignificant for solids, for reactions involving only solids or liquids. Okay. For the reactions involving solids or liquids, okay, delta H will be equal to delta E. This is very important relation. You need to remember. Okay, if a chemical reactions involves only either reactants or products, okay, the enthalpy change at constant pressure and the enthalpy change at constant value, or the internal energy change of the system at constant pressure and internal energy change of the system at constant value will be equal to one another. Okay, what is delta H? Delta H is what? Internal energy change at constant pressure. Delta U will be what? Internal energy change at constant value. This is a very important note. Okay, but if you are talking about the chemical reaction which involves gaseous reactants and gaseous products, for them the difference between the delta H and delta E is significant. There will be a considerable amount of difference. Okay, because why this difference is negligible to you? Why delta H is equal to delta E? Because as we know that the effect of pressure is negligible on solids as well as liquids, because they are incompressible. The volume remains fixed. Okay, in case of solids and liquid they have a fixed volume and the effect of pressure will be negligible. Because of that reason, okay, the enthalpy change or internal energy change at constant pressure will be always equal to the internal energy change at constant value in case of solids and liquids. It's a very important point to be noted down. Okay, now if the reaction involves, let us see in case of what happens if the gaseous substances are present in the chemical reaction. But the difference between delta H and delta U are significant for the reactions involving gaseous reactants and products. Okay, that means what? For the reactions involving gaseous substances is given, okay, the gaseous substances, the relation between delta H and delta U is given as following. So in case of gaseous reaction, delta H will be equal to delta U plus delta Mg RT. This is a very important relations to be noted down. This equation gives the relationship between the delta H and delta E for the gaseous reactions. Okay, the reactions involving at least one gaseous substance or gaseous reactant or gaseous product. Let us try to understand what's involved here. We know that delta H is internal energy change at constant pressure, delta U is the internal energy change at constant value, and whereas delta Ng, this indicates change, delta Ng is that change in the number of moles of reactants and gaseous substances. Okay, delta Ng is given as, okay, it is equal to number of moles of products minus number of moles of reactants. Okay, number of moles of what is this? Gaseous. Okay, number of moles of gaseous products as well as number of moles of gaseous reactants. Right? The relation can be given as delta Ng will be equal to Np minus Nr. Okay. What is Np here? Np is number of moles of gaseous products and Nr is number of moles of gaseous reactants. Right? Suppose if number of moles of gaseous products is greater than number of moles of gaseous reactant, then what happens? Then delta Ng will be greater than 0. Okay. Now, if number of moles of product is less than number of moles of reactant, then what happens? Delta Ng will be less than 0. Right? And what happens? Number of moles of products are equal to number of moles of reactant. Then what happens? Delta Ng will be equal to 0. These are some important conclusions. Now let us see. If delta Ng is greater than 0, then the relation between delta H will be greater than delta E. Right? If delta Ng is less than 0, then what happens? Delta H will be less than delta E. Okay, it could be delta E or delta U, whatever you can say. Okay, sometimes I may be writing delta U as well as sometimes I may be writing delta E. This doesn't make any difference. Okay, internal energy can be represented either with E or U. Okay, now if delta Ng is equal to 0, then what happens? Then delta H will be equal to delta E. This is very important conclusions. In directly objective questions, you will be given with some equations and you will be directly asked for which of the following reaction delta Ng is equal to 0 or delta Ng will be greater than 0 or delta Ng will be less than 0, or which of the following reaction delta H will be equal to delta E or delta H will be greater than delta E or delta H will be less than delta E. Okay, this type of relations can be established. All this data has to be determined from the value of delta Ng. What is delta Ng? It tells us it is the number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants of a chemical reaction which is involving gaseous reactants and products. This is the relation. Okay, this is the relation between the delta H and delta U for a gaseous reaction. Okay, delta H will be equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT. Okay, where delta Ng is what? Change in the number of moles of gaseous substances. Okay, right. Now let us see one or two examples in order to understand this in a better way. Suppose if you have a chemical reaction which is given in this way, let us assume that you have an equation: A moles of A, capital A is undergoing reaction with B moles of capital B to give rise C moles of C and D moles of D. Okay, here all of them, if you are assuming as gaseous substances, these are gaseous reactants and these are gaseous products. So what will be the delta Ng value? The delta Ng value is equal to what? Number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. For this reaction, what we can write? Delta Ng will be equal to, okay, here C plus D minus, what is this? A plus B. This is how we have to calculate the delta Ng value. Okay. Now let us see for some examples for calculation of delta Ng value. Suppose if you have given an equation, N2 gas reacts with H2 gas, okay, gives rise NH3 gas. Okay, is it balanced? No, you have to balance it. Let us take 3 moles of H2 gas and gives 2 moles of NH3. Okay, so what will be the delta Ng value of this reaction? Okay, if you are talking about this reaction, what is the number of moles of reactant undergoing reaction? Number of moles of reactant, gaseous reactants, 1 mole of nitrogen gas and 3 moles of H2 gas. So how much it comes? It comes 4 moles. What about the number of moles of products formed? 2 moles of NH3. So what will be the delta Ng value for this reaction? Delta Ng value for this reaction will be, what is this? 2 minus 4. It comes to be how much? Minus 2. This is how you have to calculate the delta Ng value. If you calculate the delta Ng value, what you will do? The delta Ng value is less than 0. That means what happens for this reaction? Delta H will be less than delta E. Are you getting this? Suppose if I give one more reaction like this, H2 gas reacts with Cl2 gas to give rise 2 moles of HCl gas. So what will be the delta Ng for this reaction? Number of, okay, what is this? Number of moles of product formed is 2 moles and number of moles of reactant undergoing reaction is 2 moles. So delta Ng will be 0. For this reaction, what happens? Delta H will be equal to delta E. Hope you are understanding this. Suppose if you take one more reaction like this, carbon solid reacts with oxygen gas to produce, okay, I will take 2 moles I will take. It forms 2 moles of CO2, CO gas, right? Now what will be the delta Ng value for this one? Delta Ng will be equal to 2 minus 1 it is. This is one. You should not take this carbon solid because delta Ng will be significant only for solid gases. It is insignificant for solids and liquids. So here carbon is in solid state, but we are not considering this solid. Okay, in case of reactant, we are only taking 1 mole of oxygen gas. So delta Ng will become 1. So what will be the relation between delta H and delta E for this reaction? Greater than. Okay, so you just need to put the N value. What is the relation in this formula? You need to put the N value. Alright. Now let us see. Suppose if we are talking about a reaction. Okay. If I give a reaction like this, 2N2O5 gives, this is a gas which gives 4NO2 gas plus O2 gas. So what will be the delta Ng value for this one? Delta Ng value for this reaction will be 5 minus 2 will be 3. What will be the relation between delta H and delta? Delta H will be equal to delta E plus 3 RT. We know what is R and what is T here. What is R in this reaction? R is universal gas constant, and T is what? Temperature. Alright. This is how you have to calculate the or establish the relationship between the, what is this? Delta H and delta E for a given reaction, gaseous reaction. Okay, let us see 1 or 2 questions in order to have a better extent of understanding what this regarding this concept. Okay. For which of the following reactions? For which of the following reactions? Delta H is equal to delta E. You are given with some reactions such as A is given. Okay. Carbon solid is treated with 2H2O liquid which gives us CO2 plus 2H2 gas, right? And option B is given that PCl5 gas undergoes decomposition PCl3 plus Cl2 gas. Option C, H2 gas plus Br2 gas gives 2HBr gas. Option D, okay, option D is that methane reacts with 2 moles of oxygen gas. Methane gas reacts with 2 moles of oxygen gas to give CO2 plus 2H2O liquid. This is gas. Now, for which of the following reaction, what is asking in the question? He is asking the question that for which of the following reaction delta H is equal to delta E. For this reaction, what is this? Delta Ng will be equal to what this? Okay, number of gaseous products 3. Okay, is there any gaseous product here? 3 minus 0. Is it for this reaction delta H is equal to delta I? No, delta H is greater than delta I. And what about for this reaction? Delta Ng will be equal to what? Here see how many are there? 2 minus 1. How much it comes? 1. And for what about this reaction? Delta Ng is equal to 2 minus 2. 2 moles of gaseous products and 2 moles of gaseous reactants. For this reaction delta Ng is equal to 0. When delta Ng becomes equal to 0, then what happens? Delta H will become equal to delta E. And what about this reaction? In this reaction, delta Ng will be, how much it comes? 1 gaseous product and 2 gaseous reactants. 1 minus 2, how much it comes? Minus 1 it comes. So this is how you will get the objective questions regarding this concept. Okay, if internal energy of the system at constant volume is given, you can calculate the enthalpy at that temperature. Or if enthalpy of a reaction given at that particular, what is the expression for this? Delta H is equal to delta U plus delta NgRT for a gaseous reaction. From this equation, what can be asked? By giving internal energy, okay, and temperature, you may be asked to calculate the enthalpy change. By giving enthalpy change and giving temperature, you may be asked to calculate the internal energy change at constant volume of that particular reaction. So anything can be questioned from this equation. So we will discuss the questions of model problems in the discussion of objective questions. Let me give you one more problem based on this in order to have an understanding. Okay, delta H minus delta E, calculate. Okay, what is the question? Calculate delta H minus delta E of the following reaction at 298 Kelvin. The reaction is given that what is the reaction given? Carbon solid 2 moles will react with 1 mole of oxygen gas to form 2 moles of carbon monoxide gas. This is the equation given. For this equation, what he is asking? He is asking us to calculate the delta H minus delta E at temperature. What is the temperature given? Okay, 298 Kelvin. So it is involving gaseous reactant and products. So what is the expression to calculate this problem? Delta H will be equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT. Okay, what is delta Ng? For this reaction, you need to calculate the delta Ng. What is delta Ng value? Number of products minus number of gaseous products minus number of gaseous reactant. This is solid, so in order to consider the solid, we have to take only gaseous reactant. How many gaseous products are there? 2 gaseous products are there and 1 gaseous reactant is there. That means it will be, how much it comes? It comes 2 minus 1. It comes to be what? And what is R value? Because okay, R value you have to take, then basically in joules you have to take. R value will be equal to 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole it is. Okay, and what is the temperature given? 298 Kelvin is given. Okay, what is the expression? Delta H is equal to delta E plus 1 RT. Okay, delta Ng RT, and what is asked? Delta H minus delta E is being asked. This will be equal to what? Delta Ng RT. So put that given data. Delta Ng value is 1, and what is the value of R? 8.314 joules. This is 1 mole. This is per mole per Kelvin. And what is this? 298 Kelvin. Kelvin, mole gets cancelled. What remains? Delta H minus delta I. Joules units. If you simplify this, it comes around 2477.7 joules it comes. This is how you have to go for the calculations based on the enthalpy change as well as internal energy change of the system with constant value. Hope it is clear so far. Okay, the remaining will be continued in the next class. Thank you.